And we're going to get prickly because we're asking you parents, at what age should kids stop sleeping in bed with mom and or dad, or mom and dad and dad? There's a parent who wrote into Slate asking that very question. What's the age?
Well, I'm so happy that this question is being posed, just because I have taught countless children how to sleep on their own. I've slept trained, because of the fact that I used to be a caregiver. I've sleep trained countless children. The one thing that I always say is that there are countries that definitely, and cultures, different cultures, where people share a family bed. So there's nothing wrong with that. But the question you need to ask yourself is this interrupting my sleep? And if it is, then come up with a different situation if you can. And also, we also have to consider that some people don't have different bedrooms. All of those things are things to consider. That said, if it is disrupting your sleep, and if you do have access to another bed, another space, I encourage you to do it. It's mainly just what works for you. That's the main thing that you have to remember. Whatever works for you is what works for you.
Yeah, I was going to add that.
It's funny before.
Oh, sorry, Melissa. I was going to say, first of all, it's nobody's business what's happening with you and your children. First of all, let's just be real. Secondly, I think with the past 2 years of everything, the pandemic, children and their emotional needs have changed. But in this particular situation, I was more concerned about the boyfriend and the fact that he is not the birth father. So I could only imagine how awkward that is for him to be sharing a bed with an 8-year-old. That's not his child. So that's me. I'm going to sit this one out because I don't need the parents coming after me, but it's a hard no.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
let's hear from one of our viewers, Christina, on Facebook. She said, my mom was a single mom, so maybe different, but I honestly slept in her bed until my teens. Then she missed me. My son made his way into our bed, whether it was midnight or 6 a.m., until he was like 6. Our 3-year-old daughter is just starting to find her way in most nights. I'm okay with it. It won't last forever. Christina, that's really beautiful, and thanks for sharing it with us. And Catherine, I totally agree with you. In fact, just the other night, I watched this clip. It's like a PBS documentary on sort of the history of kids actually getting their own bedrooms. And like you said, it's, still isn't the norm in many parts of the world. And also it's a rather recent phenomenon, like Victorian times and before that. Think about it, before heating, before suburban housing sprawl became affordable, it was very, very normal for everyone to sort of cram into that bed together.
Yeah, it's really, really true. Hey, Lindsay on Facebook chimes in. Once done nursing, never let my kids sleep in same bed or room with us ever, okay? My kids love their rooms and their beds. It's their cozy, safe place, what it should be. Gotta grow up and be independent at some point. Lindsay, thank you so much for that. I think it's probably some parents really feel that way. And to your early point, Catherine, given all of the points that you made, if it's disrupting the parent's sleep, maybe that's one of the things that, you might say this is an impetus to try to do something. Before I had kids, I was real mouthy saying to some friends, why is your kid still sleeping in bed with you? And then guess what? I had my own child.
That's right.
Everything changed, right? Perspective is everything. And I had no business telling any parent, exactly. I had no business telling any parent what to do. And I then remembered, now that I have a 7-year-old who still is waken up by nightmares, crawls down the hallway and into my room. I actually have flashbacks of doing the exact same thing when I was exactly her age with my parents. And look, guess what? I doubt that someone's going to be 16 or 17 crawling down the hallway trying to sneak into bed with mom and dad or whomever. Probably the opposite is happening, like, get me out of this house. So I'm cherishing these little moments and giving her what she needs right now. And, parents, best thing is to maybe butt out of other parents' bedrooms, maybe.
You know what this reminds me of?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, what this reminds me of is that Robert Munch book, Love You Forever. So many people were bothered by that book because she would crawl across the floor of his bed. And if he was really asleep, she'd pick up that 2-year-old and rock him back and forth. And it's a beautiful thing. And again, like that point that was made, if it's disrupting your sleep, then you have to reevaluate. But for a lot of children, for a lot of parents, especially now, comfort means a lot. Anxiety is high. Separation is a thing right now with going back to school and going back to work. And for some parents, they don't know if they're going to have these times down the road. So to each parent, do what works for you. But for me, it's a no. It's a no.
I love that though, Jen. The best way forward. The best way forward is the best way to get the best night's sleep for all parties involved. But